Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon video. Today we'll be creating the single strongest E.G.O in the entire game by collecting every single one of the E.G.O fragments. Most E.G.Os are only buffed by one, maybe two of the fragments, however there are exactly two E.G.Os in the game which are buffed by all of them. Those being Gregor's base E.G.O and Heathcliff's Holiday. In case you didn't know, if any E.G.O or identity has the capability of inflicting any of the status effects, even if it isn't 100% guaranteed, they will still be buffed by any E.G.O gift that applies to specific status effects. It's the reason why the ring identities were nerfed to have a passive that only allows them to activate bleed E.G.O gifts, because, like they were when they were first released, without that passive they could activate any E.G.O gift for their random status effects, as the game only cares whether they can use specific status effects, not whether or not they actually do. The two E.G.Os that are our primary focus also function in this way, and is why they can be buffed by everything despite the fact their infliction is completely random. Unlike for the ring though, the benefits that the E.G.Os gain are substantially less, because other than a fairly sizable damage boost, each of the fragments only provide around one extra base power due to the small amount of resources consumed by our E.G.Os of choice. In fact, that's probably the only thing keeping it relatively balanced, as despite the fact they can activate everything, they can't get the most value out of it as opposed to an E.G.O dedicated to a specific status effect. As for the team we're using to carry this out, well, since the primary goal of this video is about E.G.Os, the actual team we're using doesn't really matter. Other than having Gregor and Heathcliff on the team, everything else is purely optional, and since the E.G.Os we're using are pretty neutral, I decided to go with a fairly neutral team built around the Zwei. They do lean more towards Tremor than anything else, and because Heathcliff doesn't have a Zwei identity, I gave him his only Tremor identity. Anyway, to start the run off, we take these starter buffs and find these E.G.O gifts on the first floor of Dregs of the Manor before making it to the boss against Hindley and the Rabbits. The Zwei versus the Dead Rabbits. The Zwei plus the Oofy. Because the Oofy is actually part of the Zwei, in case you didn't know. Definitely, 100%. That's lore accurate. No, the reason he's here is for the E.G.O. Literally, that's it. He's here because he's Tremor, and I need him for the E.G.O. No other reason. And then my queen is here because I have an extra slot. Might as well use her. Also, she's technically a Zwei character because, you know, magical girls, protectors of love and justice. The Zwei are protectors, and she also has a Zwei reference in her E.G.O animation. But yeah, here we go. Boo. Not quite enough. We take the broken violin and a duplicate for a reward, before heading into To Be Pierced for the next floor. Here we buy the Emerald Elytra while also fusing the Fragment of Inertia, Desire, and Decay before making it to the boss against the King Trash Crab. Trash Crabs. This is too easy of a fight, man. Alright, easy fight. Especially when nobody's really attacking, so we can just focus entirely on the king. Should I use one of the E.G.Os? I probably should. That's kind of like the whole point of this video. Not using it feels wrong. Alright, let's see. We have 3 of the big E.G.Os right now. So it should do... Yeah, look at that. Oh my god. 250 already. Oh my gosh. This guy's not even fatal to... Yeah, he's normal to slot. Wait, 2.5? How is he 2.5? I've never seen that before. Is that something special to this... crab? What the heck? 2.5? I thought it was max at 2. Why is it 2.5? Weird, I've never seen an enemy with 2.5 resistances before. 36. Nice.
준비하듯이 말하지 좀 마시라니까.
그래도 완전 좋은 판단이었던 건 사실이네요.
We take blood, sweat, and tears for our reward before heading into hatred and despair for the next floor. Here we find spent use forming hate, while also fusing the fragment of allurement, hellfire, friction, and conceit before making it to the boss against the Knight of Despair. We got all of them. We got every single one. Right in time for the queen. Now we just need the... We're still technically not at max power. Even though we have all of the fusion. Not the fusion, the... Look at... Look at this thing, it rolls a 43. Oh, that's so funny. What about this one? It rolls a 42. Oh my god. That's so funny. Alright, here we go. 43. The strongest ego in the game. Only does 98 damage. Oh my gosh. It's funny because it's pathetic. Literally. Even though it rolls so high, it's honestly nothing. Like, I was looking at the egos and Don Quixote's fluid sac rolls the same. But you know, it's still an impressive feat, but it's like it's still a pretty impressive feat considering, you know, Don Quixote's fluid sac is primarily a clashing ego, you know? You use it to clash really well. So to have these two Zayn egos clash as high as a he one, it's like pretty impressive. And technically they're not even at max power yet because we're still lacking the crushed memory. Which it wouldn't give too much power, maybe like 5 extra points or something. That didn't kill, rip. I was expecting Dawn to do better than that. I'm sorry, the queen. She's not Dawn right now. No. Gosh, Rodion, she is such a disappointment for me, specifically, like...
정의보다도 푸른 자여, 사랑보다 붉은 자여, 운명 속에 사무친 그대의 이름을 걸고 나 여기서 빛을 맹세하여 우리 앞을 막는 증오스러운 존재들에게 나와 그대의 힘을 합쳐 위대한 사랑의 힘을 보여줄 것을! 아르카나 슬레이어!
It's so funny, like... A Zayn ego clashes higher than that. I mean, it does significantly less damage because it's only 1 coin, but even still. And only has 1 attack weight. But it's like... How does a Zayn ego clash higher than that? But as I was saying about Rhodia, she's like one of the biggest disappointing identities for me, because she's a poise identity who's not really a poise identity, right? She has absolutely no potency in her kit whatsoever, and, well, basically, her poise only serves as a counter.
운명 속에 파묻힌 그대의 이름을 걸고 나 여기서 빛을 맹세한다. 조금만 더 힘내자.
Anyway, as I was saying, Rhodia's poise basically serves as a counter, right? So, it's effectively, sort of charged for her, and I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was created before the whole tremor count became a thing, the self-tremor count. So it's like, she's a poise identity because she was created because Project Moon wanted to give her some kind of counter, but they had yet to come up with the self-tremor or the whole defense level for the Zwei. And that's literally the only reason she's a poise identity, even though she has absolutely nothing to do with poise whatsoever. And obviously, you know, you could also make her a charge identity because charge is nothing but a counter, but she doesn't really make sense as a charge identity.
우리 앞을 막는 증오스러운 존재들에게 나와 그대의 힘을 합쳐 위대한 사랑의 힘을 보여줄 것을! 우와, 가름도 깜짝. 만만치 않겠군.
But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is if any character in the entire game deserves a rework, it's probably Zwei Rhodia, because she just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever as what her kit is currently. She doesn't fit in with any of the Zwei at all. I think it's quite funny that those E.G.Os can just insta-kill the Knight's swords. There's no reason why it should be able to do that, yet it is. Okay, I gotta do this right. Do I have to do it right? Yeah, I do. Hold on. You know, it's probably fine to just do everything. I hope. Oh, it's gonna be close. No, she doesn't kill. No. This is a tragedy.
방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해주면 좋을 텐데.
I'm sorry, I failed you, Queen.
이기는 편, 우리 편.
I didn't have enough damage. If I didn't mess up and fail to kill the sword on the first turn, I would have. I'm sorry.
자, 악당 퇴치 성공! 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We take my queen's lovely gift and fiery down for a reward before heading into Sinking Deluge for the next floor. Here we buy Crush Memory and Ornamental Horseshoe, while also fusing the Charge-type gloves before making it to the boss against the Portrait of a Certain Day.
단순해서 좋군. 9번 수감자.
So yeah, this fight is still bugged. I found out about this bug like a while ago, back when I was doing my Molar Boatworks Ishmael solo. And yeah, I picked this floor, I randomly got this fight, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm not gaining any skill slots. You can easily test it yourself if you get this fight, because, you know, you just get this fight, put in however many characters you need to be below the maximum amount, and then you'll instantly see that upon entering turn 2, you still have the same amount of skill slots as turn 1. And in my personal opinion, the reason why this happens is obviously because this was a Refraction Railway fight, right? And in Refraction Railway, you're not allowed to take anything less than the maximum amount of characters. And because of that, you simply can't gain skill slots in Refraction Railway. So when Project Moon added this fight into the Mirror Dungeon, they forgot to remove the code that locks the amount of skill slots you can have in the fight. And now this fight is basically impossible to solo because you can't really beat any fight if you only have one skill slot. I mean, some fights you can, specifically the easy ones, but I tried it with this one, and I did get pretty far with the Molar Boatworks solo. Didn't get far enough, though.
저런 건 그냥 쓱싹쓱싹 하면 끝이라고. 보고입니다.
I'll hit him with the E.G.O after he becomes vulnerable. I think his gimmick is something like you break his shield and then he staggers, or not his shield. You break the master's portrait and he staggers, or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a while since I fought him. Last time he was bugged. He still is bugged. You can't solo this guy. He's unsoloable. And you know, the worst part about that bug is I reported it to Project Moon, like, a while ago. A few months ago, in fact. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yes, 46. 40. It's so dumb. Oh my god. Is it technically 2? I can't remember if this does a rupture. It does do rupture. Okay. So this one's technically buffed by 2. Charge and rupture. That's why it's basically the same. Like it's stronger than Holiday. That's stupid. It's not quite as strong as Suddenly One Day, but it is as stronger than Holiday. That's so funny. Nice.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
정의보다도 푸른 자여, 사랑보다 붉은 자여, 운명 속에 파묻힌 그대 이름을 걸고 나 여기서 빛의 맹세한다. 우리 앞을 막는 증오스러운 존재들에게 나와 그대의 힘을 합쳐 위대한 사랑의 힘을 보여줄 것을! 아르카나 슬레이버!
개체들의 체력이 많이 깎여 나갔어.
Nice. I was hoping that didn't kill, so we could see Holiday.
좋은 선물이 되겠군.
Yep.
칼날이 잘 드네요. 자, 아마
Perfect.
공격이 약점이었겠죠? 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We take blood, sweat, and tears and faith for our reward before heading into Yield My Flesh for the next floor. Here we buy clear mirror calm water and cigarette holder while also fusing nebulizer before making it to the boss against bamboo-hatted Kim.
단순해서 좋군 9번 수감자.
제압 실시.
We gotta use them as much as possible. That's the rule.
내 팔은 뼈에 있었어.
How much damage did that do? I didn't see. It is blocked by my mic. Rip.
좋은 선물이 되겠군.
60. Makes sense. He is resistant, after all. So with that in mind, yeah, we're not attacking him until we absolutely need to.
내 뒤로.
We're using super tanky identities anyways. The fact that Kim hits us a lot here because he roll with good speed doesn't matter. I mean, it matters a little bit because slash fatality on Gregor specifically, but other than that, it's just like, nah, whatever. We can deal with it.
나라도 그렇게 했을 테지. 이만하면 훌륭하군요.
좋아. 얼른 끝내고 밥 먹으러 가자고. 제압 실시.
Not quite ego time yet. Soon, but not quite now. I think ego spam after this turn, and then we'll be ready. Ooh, that almost staggered her. That would have been bad. Let's go. Gets the D power too because of that, which is nice. That's one good thing about clashable counters. Or not counters, but clashable guards with unbreakable coins. They work pretty well. Hit him with the egos. All the egos. Every single one. Nah, that's too much. The whole point of this is... And wing beat too, in case. Because it's funny. I like wing beat. Did I mention I like wing beat? Because I do. It's currently my second favorite E.G.O in the game, but it used to be my first. I'm sure it's pretty easy to tell which one actually is my favorite.
신병 확보하겠습니다.
정의보다도 푸른 자요, 사랑보다 붉은 자요. 운명 속에 파묻힌 그대의 이름을 걸고 나 여기서 빛의 맹세한다. 우리 앞을 막는 증오스러운 존재들에게 나와 그대의 힘을 합쳐 위대한 사랑의 힘을 보여줄 것을. 아르카나.
I don't like skipping the first part of this E.G.O because I don't know, they have weird cuts of her dialogue, which just it feels weird. I don't like skipping the first half. Second half is fine, but the first half is kind of no. It's because she cuts herself off a whole lot if you skip through it. Only 300. No crit. 2. Come on, Gregor. I know you got me. Give me that crit, baby. Your arm changed. Hell yeah, there we go. 800. Nice.
방금 공격. 다음에 다른 개체 얘기도 다시 해봐줄래?
그래요.
영상으로 남기면
Wing Beat's another ego that you just can't skip. Aw, come on. Unlucky.
전투 경험이 쓸모가 없잖아.
해냈구나.
급한 조치 없습니다.
나라도 그랬을 거야. 우리가 우세를 점하고 있어.
보고입니다.
I should do it. Finish it off with the egos again. This is the whole point of the video.
연이 있었어.
Gotta use them. 900. Nice. Alright, well. I didn't think he'd do that much damage. Otherwise, I wouldn't have attacked with Dawn, but whatever.
정말 멋진 활약이었어. 내일도 꼭 불러주기야.
승리의 보람과 세상의 아름다움에 대해 들어본 적 있는가? 없어도 전혀 상관없다네. 지금 우리가 보는 경치가 바로 그런 것일 테니.
And that's how I beat Mirror Dungeon 6 hard using only the strongest ego in the game. Despite the fact that it's literally buffed by 5 fragments, it's still barely as strong as WA egos buffed by 2, simply because the more resources an ego spends, the more value they get from the fragments. Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Goodbye.